Green Man information. I saw a thread about weird tree people the other day, and it reminded me of a double murder my grandpa says that he witnessed years ago. So I will share it as if it was him, and you can feel how I felt when he told me. Because if I'm able to sound as sincere as he was, you will believe him as much as I do. Probably not about the ghost stuff, but me neither. Something definitely happened though. Be me and my friends. We are just young hippies. We fly to the UK from America on a quest to prove fairy tales are real. Everyone seems sad just like the movies, but still chill people. We befriend a guy that we will call Ringo because he loved the Beatles and is also Indian. He fled to the UK to escape fellow drug dealers, but he seems cool enough. I will call my friends Paul, John and George because they also love the Beatles. I will be Steve because there is no more Beatles. We drive somewhere in Scotland that is known for shrooms. The shrooms grow literally everywhere in England. Essentially, the plan was to get whacked out of our minds on shrooms, enough to see gnomes or elves or leprechauns or British Bigfoot or whatever else, and try to kidnap it, to bring it back into the physical world and prove that fairies exist. Like I said, massive hippies. Ringo says he will drive, and says that we should pick some shrooms from the actual place, but gives us some supply in the meantime. The trip sets in. I felt my chair starting to sink slightly, like a sponge or something, as I watched concentric rainbow portals open up for the seat. If anyone here has not taken shrooms before, if you put electrode sensors into a mushroom and attach them to a synth to make it into noise, and then look at the undercap and imagine everything looking and sounding like that, but through saturated rainbow circles that sometimes fractal off with time, often being altered too. Everyone compliments Ringo on his abilities as a trip sitter. He's so good, I start thinking that I am a mushroom. Good times. We start foraging. Commence cheesy life story dialogue. Paul tells everyone the actual reason he failed class was despite being a diagnosed genius, he was unable to concentrate on lessons because he kept talking to his blend. Ringo suggests that he is schizo. Paul admits it was because he takes heroic doses of acid to get through class. We all laugh about it but harder because shrooms. We notice our laughs sound wet and echoey. Ringo tells me it's normal because we had a heroic dose. This makes me think I'm Superman. I faceplant trying to fly, and we all laugh about it. John then decides to talk about the first time he did drugs. Didn't even ask the dealer what they were. Dad walked in on him having sex with the TV, dressed in women's lingerie. I add that he probably stole it from some girl's bedroom. Listen, Steve, we don't know for sure. We just know that it wasn't mine. Our sides reach orbit. George skips so it passes to Ringo. Says a man broke his leg in front of him and his stone buddy. Left to deal with two hippies playing row 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 your boat with his broken leg for hours, which just about winded everyone. I tell them last week when a weirdo chased me through the woods while I was dirt biking and almost caught up somehow. I didn't even say, just heard running. Everyone laughs and says it's because I only went 20 an hour on it. It was 25, you assholes. We stop laughing as John actually sees a gnome. I was skeptical of hippie mysticism and just like the culture, but it felt so real in the moment I didn't even question it. We all lock onto it and follow exactly the same gnome, giggling like madmen. Holy shit, schizos never have collective hallucinations like this. Holy shit, this is actually happening. Me, John, and Ringo bolt after the red-hatted thing, eager to be the first people ever to present scientific proof of a living gnome. Feels like we're running on sponges, so it's more graceful stumbling than anything. Feels like we are moving in slow motion, which only makes us angrier and faster. Paul lags behind slightly, but stays close by, as we sprint for what must have been at least 2 miles. Sir Seizure Legs the 50th is somehow lapping everyone, despite being half the height of a lower leg. The Brits might have won if they sent gnomes instead, holy fuck. My legs are lava, even with shrooms dulling my senses. Our rage laughter is interrupted by coughing fits from pushing ourselves so hard. Take a breather. Collectively entering madness, thinking he will get away, so much that we forget to breathe, electing to cuss up a storm instead. The gnome demanifests right in front of us. Takes us a hot minute to even realize he is gone. I get pissed. I turn to the tree, smiling at me. I decide it's the tree's fault. The tree feels my pissed fist. I see the tree go from smiling to angry. I hear a Cthulhu-like screech, and Paul wheeze like he was winded and trying to scream. I turn around. I see John, George, and Ringo looking at a pool of rainbows that trailed off into the woods in confusion and fear. Ask what happened, and the most they can muster is to tell me that a walking rainbow teabag tree took him. There is no way a rainbow tree just threw only Paul into a rainbow portal. Must be George or Ringo. George and Paul got into a fight on the flight over something dumb. Start beating the shit out of George, deciding he turned Paul gay. Getting liquid rainbow all over me, which makes me punch harder because I think he's turning me gay. The trip slows down after what feels like hours of brawling, and we watch the rainbows turn to blood. The realization sets in. Rage gives way to shock, which gives way to tears. Ringo completely numbs out, and the only noises back are sobs. He does a head count more for comfort than safety when we reach the car. Wait, where's John? We fucking left John somewhere. He must have wandered off between me fighting George and us getting into the car. We tell Ringo we will look for George. Ringo reminds us how we couldn't keep Paul safe while he was right in front of us. Said it like an asshole, but too distraught to tell him. Climb into the car and die off in the back while Ringo calls the police. Police look into it. Paul's blood trail ends mysteriously 2 miles out. Virtually no evidence that John even existed. The police only consider him a person when his parents call. Less dead, so police just call him a runaway. My friends tell their story, I tell mine, explain what they said about a walking tree, and let slip that we were all high as fuck, and suggest it could have been a serial killer that decided to try and pick us off while we were high or something. The police do not buy it. Police decide that Ringo did it because he had a couple of minor drug convictions. Don't even blame him for John's murder, still sticking with the runaway story. Me and George leave the country before we get tried, promising Ringo lawyer money through his parents. Find out that he got stabbed to death by another inmate over drug turf wars. Try to move on for about 2 months. I can't. George can't either. He starts drinking heavily. I feel on the verge of a mental break and call George and ask him to tell me what he saw. George tells me to fuck off. I hear him open a window and jump out and call. I shut down for around 5 years and distract myself with free love and try to find new friends. I can't, so I get married instead. It's peaceful for 2 years. The peace is short-lived, so I retry the police. They threaten me with arrest and hang up. I ask other police stations. Either tell me they don't know or threaten me too. I ask the local papers. The local papers didn't even air the story at all. I searched for the rainbow tree by doing everything in every forest I could remember doing with my friends to try to summon it again. Wouldn't even grant me the satisfaction of seeing what killed my friends. I do this until dying around 10 years ago, pretending I thought it was a random killer for the sake of sanity. Be his grandson, me. Dad is estranged, but still let me see Grandpa, who told me everything. See the other post on X while on holiday in Yorkshire. Ask all the homeless people in Slavic communities by the A616 about the green men and taking the poles. They must not take to strangers or something. I don't really believe anything happened in the forest, and more that they just went wacko and lost some friends, but I figured my grandpa would want me to tell someone who would believe him like I pretended to, seeing his eyes light up like that. I don't believe in ghosts or anything supernatural, but if Grandpa is one, knowing what happened would put him at peace, so please, if anyone knows anything about anything to do with this, please say something. I will end this with the same picture the other guy did, so he can see it in the archives, and if you're reading this other guy, do the same, so I know who you are. I will get back to talking to locals while I wait. One of them might crack eventually. Here's the original. I'm homeless, and a bloke offered me some junk to talk about the tree things, and I only know about rope things, but that's good enough apparently, so here we go. Be me. I am homeless. I don't couch surf because I am socially awkward and I hate people. I always prefer camping out in the woods for the same reason. There are around 10 other homeless people that live out there. We don't talk to each other because we all go by the same fuck off principle, but we all check that we are still there every day. Homeless guy everyone calls Bear goes missing. Check in with the other 9 to try and find out what happened. This schizo guy called Bill said that he was chased by this weird tree mutant. Says that's probably what happened to Bear. Call him a moron, but volunteered to check it out with him anyway. We go to this abandoned hospital in the woods that Bill lives in. After I see the creepy drawings on the wall, I realize why the stupid fuck went schizo. All of them have drawings of living robes that look like people trying to merge with other people. Googled the name on a library computer back when I was sober enough to not look suspicious, and found out that it's some group home for schizos that was closed down ages ago. I am still a teen at this point, but Bill easily tripled my age. I ask if he went there. He says that it was a secret government front just trying to make people into rope, so he jumped out of a window and escaped. Silence beats having to explore generic scary asylum with whatever ideas this nutter was saying, so I tell Bill to shut the fuck up. The crazy bastard does not shut up, and decides instead to let me know that the rope people are still hunting people and that they took Bear. Coming down from a K-hole and already super paranoid, so I start choking him and telling him to stop messing with me. I hear footsteps right behind us. I think it's the police, so I start bolting. Bill says it's the rope people trying to get him. I laugh at him, but still leg it, because if it was another homeless guy, or the police, I would have an unfun time. I smash open a window and launch myself out of it, rolling off the impact. Thank fuck I grew up running from the police. I help Bill up and turn to flip them off. Instead, I see a giant piece of rope leap out of a window. I piss myself and decide it's a keyhole hallucination and that I was still tripping. I close my eyes for 3 seconds and open them back up. I still see the tree things, but I don't see Bill. I turn and see him running, so I go to catch up. He tells me they've come for him to take him away again and that we should have hid in the vents, just like he suggested. Dipshit never suggested a thing and just babbled incoherently about rope people. I run faster than him because he is senile. Bill screams so hard it gives me a headache, so I turn around, ready to beat the shit out of him. Instead, I'm treated to a sight that almost scared me straight. I have watched rec threads here before, and it looked like those videos where some dipshit blows up their hand with fireworks. There is 2 of the rope people, as Bill called them, and they are doing the live leak firework to Bill's arms and legs. I watch his flash slowly get sucked into the rope somehow, and decide fuck that. I run off while they are distracted with him. His screams stop when I'm about a mile away. I did not hear or see them taking him anywhere, so they probably ate the poor bastard. I tell the other people what happened. They tell me I am marked now. I get pissed and steal the nearest one's wallet and run off into town. I spend it all on booze and get shit-faced. I hitchhike far off to another place so they won't find me. Obviously, I don't know where it is because I've been high all the time, but I have talked to some other lads who have had stories of these animals, so I will tell these too, and share more if heroin dude has deeper pockets. I got nodded and passed out, sorry, but I'm awake now, and also a very happy fella, so here's another one for you. Still me. Couple of months after skipping town on a bender. End up building a makeshift cabin in the woods, because my asshole dad's only redeeming quality was him being good at carpentry. Normally I hate how much responsibility you put into owning a house, but no one would take it from me if I let everything rot, so it's fine. I install vents because I am still paranoid after Bill's spiel. I almost die in them high on acid, but my fear of the ropies, as I call them, is greater than my fear of normal death, so I keep them up. I learned hunting from my time homeless ever since I ran off, so I try to go out by day and try and bash some rabbits in. Moderate success. I roast a campfire and start eating the rabbits. The trees start chirping. I hear some movement above. I throw a rock without looking and tell the thing to shut up. I hear an ungoofy walrus scream through the whole forest and tactically shit my pants. I look up and see a ropie. The ropie still keeps distance. It looks more like a tree, so I dip a dry log in the fire and throw it like a Molotov. The ropie screams and scurries off. The trees are now trying to scrap me and pause the walrus cries to whistle again. I throw open the door and scurry inside to go and hide out in the vents. I had to stifle a giggle because I felt like a little rat up there. I am just about to leave when I hear the door slam. The stifled giggles turn into stifled swearing, realizing that yours truly was genius enough to feed a fellow hobo to a pair of rupees, but too much of a dumb asshole to remember to lock a door while a monster was outside. I watch for a peephole in the vents as the ugly bastard saunters into my room like some sort of self-important bastard. On my first date with Miss Back Alley, I noticed what I thought was rope was instead grainy splintered roots, and it had its own version of body hair too, as opposed to heroin friend's Vision, who is chatting with me while I type. The leaves were soaked crimson red, like someone busted their nose on them or something, dripping like a wet dog on the carpet. When I looked at its arms twice, I saw a person all rolled up in there, rolled up like a cigarette. I'm still calling it a rupee because change is for losers. It looked like her head, but I could tell it was a she because the hair still whipped around as the rupee jerked and turned. You can leave now, bitch. I had spent so long without talking to someone, I forgot that thinking something too hard makes you say it. I feel the first real wave of fear in my life as it stares right at me through the peephole. Oh shit. It bellows again. It tries to lunge at the vent with me inside of it. I scream like a girl, but it just bounces right off. I regain my dignity by making fun of it. I call it ugly. I say it shouldn't walk. That's why I killed your broccoli kids with a motherfucking fork. It decides to play the waiting game. I realize that in all of my triumph, I forgot that I was wedged in a vent with only one exit. I would rather starve than be slinkified. After a day trapped up there and freestyling diss tracks to my ropey friend, it takes the hint and fucks off. I wait a good 6 hours before daring to leave. I pickpocket some old bloke on the street and use his money to get a taxi out of there. Tough luck for him, but I'd be damned if I had to stay in that place another day. Hey, hope you've enjoyed the story so far. If you want to hear more, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment because it lets YouTube know you like the content and helps more people to see these videos. My next big goal for the channel is 100,000 subscribers, and as a celebration, I will be doing a Q&A video once we hit that goal. Thank you, and back to the stories. Here is another. Tramping in an abandoned city block to get away from the forest and rupees. For some reason, the rupees never stay in the city, and I never really figured out why. I only hear some rumors of them in House 5. They are set to come from the hatch and never leave until sunrise. They are definitely just chatting shit, so I give them more cigarettes in exchange to hear about it, but keep it in mind. Still really hard to tease out, because hobos only tell secrets to each other, and I seem way too normal to be a real tramp. I had to prove I'm not by going unshowered for months and drinking my own piss. Ew. Don't actually know if it's because they were hazing me, judging by their weird laughs, but whatever happened, they say I passed the test. Cack, just pulling your leg. Now you have to survive a night in House 5. Whatever. Just get me some good stuff after. Oh yeah, if you're confused, around that time, I was trying to make friends. New ones were assholes, so I would fit right in. House 5 was made of a mix of concrete and wood, making it look really sick, so at least I was doing it in style. Me and another initiate we will call Linda started to play a game where we tried to only walk on the wood. After we finished with the game, I start to prepare Linda a little about the rupees. They are scared of light. I learned that from the fire. They hide in the vents, blah blah blah. I tell her not to risk a single bone in her smoking body, or I will personally strangle her. But make good on my promise before, and I tell her everything I went through while she chokes on the floor. Tell her I don't give a flying fuck if it's a 1 in 1,000 chance that they come or not. We won't take any chances. She is mad, but just takes it as me being a loony, so does not hold anything against me, and just does what I say. She jokingly says that at least someone cares about her now. We bond over having a similar feeling. I tell her about when my dad kicked me out after an argument, and housed a stranger in my room after. She tells me what happened to her. Maybe friends were a good idea. Night falls, and we close and lock all of the doors. They are wooden doors, so have a Molotov set to burn in place if we need an emergency escape. After some more giddy makeout sessions, I make sure to close the hatch and lock it. I use a bone lock I made myself to impress her. She digs it, and I dig my teeth into her shoulder and have some more fun before sundown proper. The witching hour commences. Start priming all the vents to hide in. Aside from being a little hot and stuffy, it's a primo venting, has multiple exits as opposed to my old house's only one. People-sized vents, so they have runged ladders too. While I walk around with her to make sure to stay near a vent, something tries to open the hatch. I laugh and take the piss out of it for not being able to get in. Turns out it's a friendly hobo pulling a prank on us. I know this because I hear them scream instantly after. I assume they were just being an asshole, so I loosen up a bit. In the middle of playing tag with Linda, when I hear a loud thud and a snap downstairs, I make Linda hide in the vents while I check it out. I see a rope emerging from the hatch downstairs. Sprint to the nearest vent opening. I hear a rainstorm of steps as the thing marathons towards me. I keep it together enough to scream at Linda to stay inside. I scramble through an opening just as it closes in. I scurry to the back and climb the ladder. I see its arm reached in and feeling around for me. Oh fuck no. I close the damper and lock it before it gets in so it can't come up. I start calling for Linda. She is on the third floor vent, so I make my way to her. Cheesy Disney kiss quickly turns to snogging, and I only pause when I remember the vents were all open. I close our vent and all of the ones above it. Luckily, I had the idea first, so we were safe in there. Wait out for a couple of hours and play grab ass in the vents to calm our nerves. Hot day outside, so very sweaty. Linda decides clothes are for nerds and ditches them. Not opposed to it, so I make a move, only for her to deny me because she is boiling alive. I am still sympathetic because I'm half the reason, so I try to cool her down. I realize we forgot to bring water. Start going delirious from dehydration. We start arguing. She says she's gonna go get some water. What? I realize that maybe the heat and the drugs have made her stupid. I watch her open the hatch. The ropey found where we were, so I can see it out of my periphery. Quickly snatch her up and close the vents again. She passes out, so I go and do laps around the vents while she sleeps off her stupidity, knowing she is at least safe now. Hear the hatch opening again. I am like 2 floors above her. Oh fuck. I leap down and mess up my ankle in the process. I get to her hatch just as I hear a blood-curdling scream. It was waiting right outside for her, meaning she had no chance. She grabs the vents. The ropey grabs her. The resultant force jerks the vents off of its hinges. I grab on as the vent snaps off but falls against the wall. Pull her into the vent. The hatch closes behind her. She clings to me like some sort of scared kid. I take a good look at her. She lost an arm and a leg. Her face is busted up. She is bleeding from everywhere. I won't tell her story because it takes a while, but Linda was a person let down by everyone in her life, from her parents to her friends on the street, which led to her clinging onto any fucker with enough heart or hormones to have pity. I look into her eyes, knowing she is screwed. She tells me she is scared. Like I said, everyone in Linda's life failed to do the bare minimum for her. I don't like standing out, so quietly open the hatch behind her when I am sure she is too weak to grab me. I am not getting the smell of dying girl on me, and finally being able to have some fresh cool air and water while the ropey was busy with her was defo worth having to put up with her screaming and cursing me out for betraying her. I gave her a second chance, which she wasted, so not my problem. I enjoy my water and leave House 5 a champion among hobos and am treated to everything that I want. Okay, I try to last in the city to get away from it all. I steal someone's car not even a week after I land. I don't cover my tracks as well as I normally do, so pigs swarm me and I get around a year in the slammer. I meet this guy I will call Muhammad because he looked like the prophet. This 7-foot Jack Somalian dude who went schizo and killed his uncle. The police ruled him clinically sane, so he now has a life sentence here. Why the fuck I'm bunking with a murderer as a petty thief is beyond me, but I know that pigs make your life hell when you moan, so I just sleep with my eyes open. He is desperate to have sex with me. I don't want to because I'm straight. I keep refusing. I don't understand it because he's easily got at least 1.5 feet plus 100 pounds on me, and he's already in here for life anyway. He offers me cigarettes, smuggled drugs, and status, which I refuse, due to wanting to speedrun my sentence, plus, I wanted to at least have some dignity. I know the rupees marked you. If you give me what you want, I will tell you about them. My dignity takes a back seat to curiosity, as I thank whoever is out there that his height was overcompensating. Okay, time for his story. I will try and write how he spoke, but I will struggle. Be him, 13. Mom and dad newly immigrated from Somalia. Have an older brother, but fight with him a lot. Older brother is the favorite child, so they side with him every time. Feels bad, man. One day, brother takes me deep in the woods to show me something. Glad, because he is being nice to me for once. Hey Muhammad, look at this cool machine I found. Looks like a skateboard flipped upside down and has really wide tires. Snake sticks in it. It does nothing. Keep putting everything we can find in it and nothing keeps happening. Can tell the machine is on because it is making noise, just don't know how to work it and get really annoyed. Get the idea to put a dead rat on it. Nothing happens again. Ugh. Hear my brother turn to leave as I have a really bright idea. Find out how to turn the machine off. Put all the mouse's limbs into the holes on the wheels because it reminds me of what my uncle taught me about praying. Okay, this story is just... yeah, I'm gonna skip it. You won't. Believe me, you will thank me. Yeah, let's do everyone a favor and, yeah. Fast forward to present and you will notice a few things wrong with his story. The rupees suddenly are not afraid of light for some reason. Why the hell are there randomly gnomes in the story? I have never even seen a gnome or used a skateboard machine, so I can't be marked. This idiot didn't even mention rupees once, aside from trying to hook me into the story. So you can probably forgive me for how Muhammad's story ends, and if you don't, I'm not really bothered. Be me, walking around the prison courtyard in the evening. One of the gifts Muhammad tried to bribe me for sex with was a chef that I decided to keep. Get right to the edge of a forest. Prisoners cut through the fence somehow, and I guess that the prison guards did not notice. Okay, dude. It's those dumb bastards' own sodding fault that I'm going to take advantage of it. Muhammad finishes his story, and I decide that he probably heard me talking about rupees to some fellow homeless convicts and tried to combine bits and pieces for sex. Disgusting bugger. Take him into the forest with offers of a thank you blowjob, and I tell him I'll give him a massage first. I cut his throat and tell him to try to lie his way into fucking me again. I watch him stumble confused deeper into the woods. I realize he's not a lying asshole, as the torch I smuggled to bludgeon him with as a backup illuminates a rupee standing right above, yanking him back into the tree line. The gurgling proceeds into the tree line, and I hear another snap deeper in the forest to my left. I turn 360 degrees. I can't, bro. I turn 360 degrees and walk away. Pigs ask why I'm covered in blood, and because I have no official criminal record under my name, I'm able to convince them that he tried to assault me and ran off after I stabbed him. They found the chef, but obviously no trace of him. Afterwards, an officer comes up to me and tells me they know I'm lying. If I'm lying, why would you let me get away with it? Tells me not to worry about it. I am not worried about it, but I'm worried about the fact that I might be marked now. Maybe he lied about that part so he could share his story with me, so I'm not too worried. And thus ended the story of my acquaintance. May he rest in semen. My apologies. At first, I thought these stories would be interesting. I read the first, and I didn't realize there were more, so I looked them up, and I was like, yo! And reading the second, I was like, okay, maybe I'll do them all. But it just devolved and devolved. As if the guy jumping out of the window mid-call in the first one wasn't bad enough. Anyway. Thanks for sticking with me if you're still here, and I deeply apologize if you come to me for even semi-believable stories, or at the very least don't like the schizo stuff. I will try to make it up to you tomorrow with a story that's actually good. This is why you should never gamble with drugs, kids.